You're going to have to help me get up, though. What happened to George Floyd was wrong. It was a crime. The officers that were involved need to go to prison.
Yes.
For justice for George Floyd
Yes.
and the entire African American community.
Yes.
All right? We're with you.
Yes.
We are with you. We are not against you. I'm telling you, the vast majority of law enforcement, and I can tell you 100% here in Bellevue, when we saw it, we condemned the behavior. We make sure that that is never going to happen here. We embrace all of you. God bless you. How are we doing it?
Yes. How?
Training. Let me tell you.
Let him talk.
We're training. We're listening to the African American community. I have an African American advisory council. Can you help? Can you help me out? Please.
Let him speak.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
I hit surgery.
You're okay. We got you. You're back up.
All right. So hold on.
There we go.
So the question is, how do we make sure that doesn't happen? I've been chief here for 5 years. We've never had a situation like that here, and I'm convinced that we will. Do you know why? Number one, it's the people that we hire. We do a tremendous job trying to figure out who we're hiring. We're looking for the people with the heart to connect with the community, not to be an occupying force, not to come in and dominate and be the enemy, but be the partner that you all deserve, to protect and serve all of you because we're your servants. We are connected, we're learning, we're listening. And please, again, hear my heart on this, folks. Hear my heart. Amen, I know it.
Listen to it real quick. This is the first time we've had someone talk back.
400 years, I know it. But you know what? We have to have the conversation. We need to move forward. Learn from, and I'm telling you, we condemn what happened in Minneapolis. We condemn what happened to Aubrey. We condemn every single time something like that happens. Every time it happens.
I hear y'all, but let's listen, because we haven't heard them speak back at all during these protests. We were out here, and listen, we were out here, we were talking to them. You know, you seen those guys in the red, in the black hats in the red in London and shit? We were out here trying to talk to the cops and see if they would say anything, see if they would do anything, and they didn't say shit at all. So I want to hear what he has to say, and then listen to this. When I listen to people say things, listen to me right now. Listen to me right now. Listen to me right now. I've been arrested. I can't even tell you how many times. Probably like 48 times. Understand me? Now listen. Now when people speak, I listen to them speak, but then I like to see their actions. Do you understand me? So I'm not saying that what he's saying is going to pacify us. We're not listening for pacification. So I see and I appreciate your energy when you guys are saying fuck all that. I do. But what I want to see is I don't know this man at all. So I want to listen to his words, and then I want to see if his actions follow. Right. You understand me? You want to know how you see if a tree, what kind of fruit, what kind of tree a tree is. You see that tree right there? You see what kind of fruits that it bears. If that tree bears some poisonous berries, then we know it's fucked off. If it bears some apples and they're delicious, then we know it's good money. You understand me? So I want to hear what you have to say. And then also, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to let you know, you're here. You're from Bellevue? You're a Bellevue officer?
Chief.
Chief? Okay, that's what, my uncle was the first black chief of police in Tacoma.
All right.
But listen to me. So I don't know the Bellevue statistics out here. So I encourage everyone that's here to go Google that, find, get the cited word, go and find the statistics of what's going on out here in Bellevue. Understand me? I'm sure you probably had some personal experiences and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I've had some personal experiences that were negative with police out here. I've also had some positive ones. So, well, let's look at the statistics, and then let's see what it is, and let's see if we do see some change here, and let's see if we can spread this and have more conversations elsewhere. You understand me? You understand me? So, let's hear what you have to say really quickly.
Let's go.
Amen. Don't judge us on what we say. Judge us on what we do.
We are.
And one of the things that I would hope that you would judge us today, right? We're here. We're here to make sure that you are able to lift your voices up in a peaceful way. We are here to guarantee your rights to do exactly what you're doing. God bless you for doing it. I commend you for doing it.
He's speaking to the microphone a little bit.
I commend you for doing it. But do it peacefully, right? We don't want anybody hurt. We don't want anybody hurt. So, look, ask it.
So you want you want everything to be peaceful. We want it too. So can you reform your officers and how you have them come out to deal with protests? Because coming out with batons, it antagonizes. You see how angry the women are right behind us.
Turn around. Batonless. They let it go.
I know, okay, but I'm saying, but there's some there's some that have it here. I see him. No, I see him. But his fellow officers, they just walked up with them. But I'm saying, so if you could change that, shields, I don't care. But coming out with straight batons, I seen one of your officers sitting over here. He was antsy. He was scared more than anybody else across this line, and that's because if any push anything, he would have moved. And I can tell just by action.
Can I answer it?
And I'd rather have somebody out the police with the bikes. That's good. Shields, that's good. But batons, that gotta go.
Can I answer it?
Go ahead.
Okay, let's see what he has to say, y'all. Let's see what he has to say.
So I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you to look at the windows. I'm going to ask you to look at the injuries. I'm going to ask you to look. Hold on a second. I'm going to ask you to look at the damage to the property. I'm going to ask you to look at the injuries to police officers, to civilians that came out to peacefully protest, and how a small group that didn't come out here to lift up George Floyd, didn't come out here to advance civil rights. They came out here to destroy. So the officers, hold on one second, the officers use those tools. They got to protect themselves, right? I mean, it's a tool.
I definitely understand that.
And not one,
everything else can be used.
not one person. Hold on a second.
Hold on.
There you here.
Hey, I feel y'all energy, but hold on real quick. Hold on.
Dash number can be
Here in Bellevue, we use tremendous restraint, as do our partner agencies. Those batons have not been used against anybody because we didn't need to. Yeah, and that's because the tear gas is being used because of all the damage to property and looting and everything else. Folks, that is not honoring George Floyd or anybody else. So look, God bless you. Stay here as long as you stay here.
Hey guys, can I have a question for you real quick?
What's your first name?
My name is Raz Simone.
Oh, man.
All right, Raz.
That's the rapper right in front of you.
I have a question for brother right here, this brother police officer chief. What type of power do you guys have here? What kind of changes can you make? Because I saw that here, someone was able to put their baton down. That wasn't like that's not something that's sitting down from up above, that they can't do that. What kind of changes you as a police chief can you make, and what things are your hands tied for?
My friend, we've been making change since I got here. We've been connecting with the community. We recognize that so many members in our community, especially our communities of color, are marginalized. They don't have a voice. They are marginalized. They fear the police. They feel like they don't have voice. And look, I grew up in New York. I got 6 older brothers. We came in, I had a very diverse household, and it was foreign to me, some of the things that I saw growing up. And I swore, if I ever became a police officer, one of my primary missions is to eradicate injustice, eradicate discrimination. And I'm telling you, you may look behind me at these officers. I promise you that's in their heart as well. And so they put that.
Is that in your heart as well? Back here? Is that in your heart as well?
I seen it. We cried together.
Now, officer
in the back with the bike. What's your name? Officer in the back with the bike. Yes, you. You. What's your name?
Borsheim.
I watched you. I watched you feel me, and I watched you cry. I watched you shed a tear when I was crying. He feels us. He's not the first one. He's not the first one. He's not. They feel us. We are being heard. How did we do that? We did that today with peace. We did that today with peace. This is the first peaceful protest I have ever seen. This is the first peaceful protest I have ever seen. This is the first one, and we did that. We did that.
I have another question because, like I told you, and I'm gonna be honest. I hear you with the looting. I don't steal things. I'm not a thief. But I'm not mad at people that are doing it because I value human lives. more than things.
Amen.
And I understand people that are frustrated in doing that. Like I said, I don't like stealing myself. You understand me? But I can understand where we're coming from. But moving forward, because I know the looting is going to stop at some point. You know, people are going to go home and sleep and eat and all that stuff at some point. So moving forward, this is something that I want you guys to hold all of us accountable. And I want to ask him, moving forward, would you guys be open to, or not, would you participate in some type of program, maybe some type of meeting as well, that officers need to sit through? I have a lot of people that say that officers, we need to have a test, an empathy test. I think that you seem like you have some empathy in you. It does seem like you do. And I'll give that to you from your words, from your energy that you're coming off at me right now. It sounds like that. Again, I don't know you from a can of paint, so I have to check into that.
We know each other, man.
But it does sound like that. It does. So would that be something that you would be down to do?
Absolutely.
Look at this, man. That's change right there. We did that.
That's what we
did
hear.
that. We did
That's one of the things that we want to hear.
that.
Yeah, can I get your information?
Yeah, you got a piece of paper? Somebody have a piece of paper?
Somebody have a piece of paper real quick? Somebody got a piece of paper? I'm doing a live right now. I gotta keep it open.
Hey, push back!
D, can I talk?
Get your cops to take a knee!
Yeah, get your cops taking me. Solidarity with us.
Cops to take a knee!
Hold on a second. Hold on.
I got a question.
Oh man, give me a second. You writing? You got a card too?
I don't have any on me.
Okay.
We got real guns over there. You guys don't even know. But you're over here letting the dudes sign up and shit. They got real fucking guns over there. SWAT dudes
He's from LA, grew up in Compton. Can he talk?
Yeah.
You good?
What's your name?
Demetrius.
Demetrius?
You got a wipe right there? Hold on, pass the wipe. You wipe it every time. COVID-19, right?
And I know y'all out here for a peaceful protest.
Put your mouth on that.
And there were some things that was said to our officers earlier that I have to say, knowing and working with these guys for over 13 years, it ain't here.
Hey, who has the charger?
It ain't here.
Can we have a cord I can borrow?
I wish it was the same way I can say that about everywhere else, but it ain't. Where'd you grow up? I grew up in LA, Compton, born and raised. And we've been through some shit down there. And y'all call me sellout, house nigga, all kinds of stuff. Oh, it was all on the line. That's fine.
Somebody did.
But that's fine. But look up. How else are we gonna change it? How else are we gonna change it?
Listen to him.
We already started. We already started.
Listen. And that's what I'm doing. You guys wonder how we're gonna make this change, how we're gonna do this. You got a bunch of beautiful black men over here behind the badge, making change, making it done differently. So we don't see this here. We don't. We can honestly say we don't. That's just not how it operates. And I know you're tired, because you can look everywhere else all across this U.S. and it ain't the same. It ain't the same. But I can tell you for a fact, since I've been here, since this man's been in charge, he's been making change here. Here. Making sure everything from black people to brown people, every color has a voice in this city.
Hey, brother. We need to, no, don't say shit up to him. Don't say shit up to him. Don't say shit up to him. Hey, this brother back here, we need to see what he's changed. We need to look into that. That's true. That's true.
Come here.
Come here.
Come on, come speak. Come on. Come on, bro. What's the information? Come on.
Yeah, he wants information. He wants facts. That's what he wants.
Hey, we don't gotta yell.
No.
It's cool. We can yell, we can talk, we can do whatever.
We're trying to solve something, bro.
We would like facts and evidence on what you guys have done to change this. Because this is not a new phenomenon. It's been going on for 300 years. Civil rights ended in 1965. We got the Civil Rights Act.
Keeps on
That's
going.
what, 45 years ago?
50 years!
How many? 60 years?
years.
55 years? However many is too damn long.
Yeah.
What have you done?
So he wants to hear the facts and the evidence, and we'll say what That's my fault, the equipment tweaking. So he wants to hear the facts and evidence, what you guys have done here in this under this chief's direction.
So the very first thing I did when I got here is I started talking to people. And I even told the city manager before I was hired, I said, Mr. City Manager, if I'm successful, you're going to see crime increase, reported crime. And he looked at me and he said, what are you talking about? I said, if I do my job well, I'm going to build bridges of trust into the communities that communities that do not report crime because they don't trust us and they're fearful. And yes, reported crime went up. I established advisory councils based on race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and these individuals serve as my guides and my advisors on how to best communicate and listen. And that's the thing, listening. I will tell you this, since I've been chief, I had a white police officer refer to a subordinate officer in a racial slur. What did I do? I fired him. I fired him because it does not reflect the values of this police department. So yeah, I've done things, right? And I mean, I've been here 5 years, and we can sit down and we can talk. That's why you're chief. But get online, get our annual reports and everything else, and more than that, ask people in Bellevue.
Now, so now check this out. Everyone that had that energy, and I love your energy. I love your energy. I love everybody's energy out here. Everybody that had that energy, like I said at the beginning, keep that same energy. I want everybody that had that energy to go and fact check and make sure that he's not lying to us. You understand? Because people are looking like, what happened? Are you lying? So let's fact check and make sure that's what that was. Now, also, I'm going to say this. Everybody clapped for him when he said that, and that's great. That's great. That's great. But you know what else, though? It really sucks. And it doesn't suck because of him. It sucks that we're in a place that we clap for something that should be natural. It should be natural that how he feels about people, that is coming out in his work like that. It should be natural that you don't fuck with people because of their race and all of that stuff. It should be natural. You understand me? Now they're dropping bombs over there.
How do you feel about Trump declaring
I don't even want to hear Trump shit, honestly.
Hey, no, I want to ask questions. Are we terrorists for being anti-fascist?
I think we need change.
Are we terrorists for being anti-fascist? Because you declare all of us terrorists.
We need change.
He'll declare everybody out here terrorists.
You need to vote.
Y'all will sit. I do vote.
I know.
I do vote.
We need to vote.
Out here.
That's where the change happens. That's where the change happens. When we all work together and we vote, when we all work together and we vote, that's what happens.
You're kneeling on a man's neck with 4 people on him.
Hey, I'm gonna say another thing right here.
Hey, I got a question.
I'm gonna say another thing right here. Brother's got a question right here. Go ahead. Go ahead, speak.
I have a question. Yes, you do. I've always wanted to ask the officer this since I was a little kid, and I was always denied. And I want the truth. What does the truth need to protect and serve?
That's a good answer.
Good question. You want to wipe it down for him? We don't want you to die. If you turn out to be a good police chief, we don't want you to die on us.
I want the truth. That's what I want.
Wipe it down.
To protect and serve.
We already all got it.
What it means to protect and serve is I'm going to lay my life down for you. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect you as a human being, your family, your property. I'm going to go in your backyard when somebody's in your backyard trying to break into your house. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what race you are. I don't care how you worship God. You're a human being in my community. I'm going to lay down my life. I'm going to lay down my life. I'm going to leave my wife a widow, my children orphan, because I'm willing to lay down my life for you, my brother. For you.
Yes. He said brother. He said my brother.
Okay, so I got his number and we're gonna talk. But now, hey, before you leave, because I know you gotta get out here, you got some work to do. I know some other things are going. I'm gonna take this. I know other things are happening over here that aren't so peaceful. I know things are happening over here that aren't so peaceful. We got a SWAT team over here, so just to acknowledge that. But we are having a good dialogue here, so I will say that. But before he leaves, I want to say I hope that your energy doesn't change when I do reach out to you. And I hope that all of y'all's energy does not change when you leave here. Everyone is yelling and mad, but I want to see you guys come because we're going to start having meetings. And we need to have everyone's input.
No one is yelling and mad.
He has things that he knows that I don't. He has things that he knows that I don't. She has things And he definitely has things that I don't know about at all, because I don't know anything about that police shit at all.
If not, it's
so,
okay.
we need to come together and have these conversations regularly, not just yelling and angry at one time. You can yell, you can be angry as much as you want, but make sure you keep that same energy tomorrow and the next day, next week, next month, next year. Do you understand me? So I didn't even want to personally promote myself, but my name is Raz Simone. You look me up on Facebook or Instagram. Lock in. I got the email address is Sarah with the no H, just SAR @razsimone.com. Hit me up right there. Hit me up if you guys want to link in and start having regular meetings and start creating this change that we want to see.
Are you from out here?
I'm from here. I'm from the CD. From Seattle.
Hey, give one of these.
Instagram's is Raz Simone, RAZSIMONE.
Yo, give one of these kids the mic for this news.
Yep.
Give one of these little kids the mic for news.
She wants to say something, then we got her over here.
I got one about
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. We got 2 quick questions. Go ahead, and then he's going to...
Hi, my name is Brenda, and I'm Mexican.
Come on, bro.
I'm standing in solidarity.
Come get ahead of me.
Oh, there you go. I just
what y'all gonna do about equal protection of the law?
Take a knee, make history.
Come up here and ask.
Bellevue.
Everybody should be able to talk.
Just a quick knee.
Please, you took a knee.
This is the first time I've been this close to police. Without having to be like a hostile situation.
Hey, I want to hear what he has to say, though. I do want to hear what he has to say, y'all. Come on. Let's listen real quick.
Yeah, let's let him talk.
You know what? I'm going to put it this way. I took a knee because my heart made me take a knee, okay? I'm not going to force anybody to take a knee. That's up to them, okay? And they're in full gear as well. And I'm not going to...
God, I don't want to get old.
It's up.
Not in full gear. They're in full gear when they're wrestling to the ground, too.
I know. I wish we didn't have to wrestle anybody. So...
He said something real, though.
So I understand the symbolism of it and the need for it. But I'm not going to direct anybody. What I do is what I do.
And that's right, because it wouldn't be genuine.
Right.
So wait, so you took a knee, Chief?
I did, but understand.
You took a knee. You took a knee. You saw it.
Understand something. Hold on.
Wait.
Do not judge these officers for their decision to do or not to do what I do. Okay? Don't question their heart or where it is. They're out here again to protect you.
Steve, Chief Mylett, you just came out of speaking to this group. We were witnessing what felt like a real dialogue. I want to know how it felt to you.
Real. I heard them. I felt them. I think they heard me, and I think they heard my voice and my heart and the heart of everybody that stands behind me. Police officers across this country condemn what happened in Minneapolis. Police officers across this country, when something happens like that to Mr. Floyd, we reject it. It's not who we are, because we all know that we get impacted by it, and it's the uniform we wear, and we understand it, but it sets us back 10 years with all the progress that we're making. And so it's dialogue like this that we learn from each other.
You have 2 very drastic scenes, though, drastically different scenes here. You've got this peaceful protest, high emotions, but peaceful. And then we've got Bell Square right here. That I can't even believe the video I've seen from inside there, and the people who are just walking out with shopping bags full of things. Tell me I know you've been here for a little bit, but tell me what's happening in the mall right now and how you handle this.
So I've been out here for about 3 or 4 hours since it began, out in the field. And I'm going to give Raz credit because he's leading this crowd. He's keeping them peaceful. When people are lashing out and wanting to start moving in towards aggression, he's telling them stop. That's not going to solve anything. So he's being very effective, and that's what we need. We need leaders in the community to help communicate, and let's bridge this gap. As far as what's going on over there and elsewhere in our city, and what I've been seeing all day, that's something totally different. The individuals that are doing this, they don't care about what happened to George Floyd. They don't care anything about civil rights. It's an opportunity for them to go in and destroy things and steal. And they're harming people. They're harming police officers. They're harming civilians. There's 2 different sets of motivations here. When I got here this morning, and as they started arriving, I didn't see this. I didn't see any peaceful protests. I saw individuals that were breaking windows, individuals that were trying to destroy property and steal. This actually gives me hope. It really does. I wish that we had more of this and less of what we saw in Seattle last night and across the country, and now what we're seeing in Bellevue.
Do you have a handle on how many injuries you've had from the violent side of this today?
So I don't yet. I'm going to get those numbers here shortly. Every one of my bike officers last night was injured in Seattle, as were many officers with bricks and bottles and rocks. We've had officers, you know, rocks have been thrown at. I got hit myself. You know, and it's wrong. You know, it's wrong. This is what people should be doing, peacefully assembling, lifting their voice up. There's anger, there's hurt, there's frustration, and we need to hear it. But that stuff over there, I got no use for it, and I got no tolerance for it. And we're going to put people in jail.
There's a curfew in Bellevue tonight. I think we're actually probably past that curfew point. What are you going to do about this crowd?
We're going to reevaluate it. I want to give them some space. The curfew was not generated because of this group and what they're doing. It's for everybody else that's doing this. So we're going to step back and reassess.
All right. So right now they can stay.
Right now, they're under the guidance of our police department, and again, a great community leader. That, at least what I'm hearing, his words. He's telling everybody, listen to the man's words, but judge him by his actions. Well, I'm going to do the same thing with him. Right. And so far, his words and his actions have been very positive.
You gave him your phone number. Do you expect to be talking to him?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I'll invite him over, or I'll meet him somewhere in the field, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
All right. Chief Mylett, I really appreciate your time. I know you've got your hands full. Thank you.
Thank you.